One in Rome, Chapter 15. "The chief wants to speak with you," said Maria. Unlike her usual self, with snare and glare when she saw Antonio, she gave him a gentle nod and a slight grin as if to say, "Hang in there, I'm with you." Antonio climbed the stairs to the top floor and knocked on a door at the end of the air-stifling and humid hallway. "Come in," a husky male voice answered. "You want to see me, Chief?" Antonio asked. "How did it go up north?" Without looking up, the chief replied while shuffling through papers on his desk. Antonio gave the chief the rundown of the crime scene. "The autopsy will be taking place soon according to MDI, and I took some evidence from a gray van that might be related to the robbery occurred yesterday." "Anything else?" The chief was still looking down. "No." Antonio thought for a moment, but decided not to speak further. The chief gathered the pile of paper and shoved it into a folder and placed it in a drawer beneath his desk and closed it. He leaned back his chair and said, "I got a call from the captain of that police station you were." He looked at Antonio and continued, "He was not pleased with your visit." Antonio shrugged. "I was there and I wanted to know more." "You were supposed to be there to take notes and to offer them any information you have about our situations here. You were there to help, not, I repeat, not to interfere." The gray van was parked very close, and no one said anything to the MDI about taking a look at the vehicle, Antonio defended. The chief tapped his finger over the surface of the desk. "It wasn't your call. You made a mess of things with me and the other police station. Remember, we should always know where our boundaries are. We should always work as a team and respect your superior. I need you to give me the evidence you took from the van so I can give it back to the station." "I don't have it with me. It's in my car." "Good. Since it is your day off, drive back there and drop it off at their station and apologize to that captain you insulted." Antonio grinded his teeth. "Is there anything else you haven't told me?" The chief pierced him with his eyes. "No. By now, even if it may be necessary to tell the chief about Molly, he don't want to. To him, it was obvious diplomacy took precedent than crime." Antonio reached a small marina town and parked nearby a harbor, where the bar that was listed on the receipt located. It was a dingy wooden shack by a dock. The air was filled with precipitation from the salty sea, as well as sounds of rock music. It got louder when he was near the bar's entrance. The place was packed with customers, young and old. Waitstaff squeezed their way through the crowd with serving trays filled with food and drinks. The officer stood in front of a formica counter with a middle-aged man in white t-shirt serving a gin and tonic to a lady sitting on a bar stool next to him. The lady watched Antonio as the bartender greeted him. "Ciao, what can I get you?" Antonio took out his badge and said, "Do you remember seeing a Caucasian male, blonde, about 6 feet, accompanied by a female with reddish-brown hair in their 20s that came here recently?" He showed the bartender the receipt. The man behind the counter examined the small piece of paper and said, "Sorry, I don't remember. If I had seen the couple. This receipt was dated a few weeks ago." "Can you tell if it was paid by cash or credit card?" Antonio asked. "Credit card." The bartender pointed a code on the piece of paper. "Can you find out the name of the card that was used here?" I can let you speak to the manager. Please. This way. The bartender led Antonio around a corner, through a door into a kitchen with an office. He knocked on its door with a slight gap and said, "Hey, Giorgio, this policeman would like to talk to you." Giorgio almost dropped the phone. He appeared to be nervous. Antonio wondered if this man, who appeared to be in his 60s, was discussing something shady. The old man quickly hung up the phone. Antonio showed him his badge and asked for his assistance. The manager, after seeing his badge, looked relieved and responded dryly, "What can I do for you?" "Could you find out the name from the credit card used for this receipt?" The manager took a look at the receipt and said, "That was 2 weeks ago. I can't give you the information right away. When can you?" "Are you from the police station around here? I never seen you before," said the manager. Antonio replied, "No, I'm from Santa Marinella. There is a case related to a robbery, and this receipt is an evidence from that case." "Then why isn't the officer in this area asking me the question?" Antonio tried to stay composed. The robbery was in Santa Marinella. Still, the manager appeared unwillingly. "I'm afraid I can't help you. I think it's best you go to the police station and then have them call me." Antonio headed out without a word. But right before he went past the door, something on the wall caught his eyes. It was a picture of the manager standing next to the van that looked just like the gray van in question. He turned back. "Is this your van?" The manager grimaced. "Not anymore. Sold it a few months ago." "Whom did you sell it to?" The manager was annoyed. "Look, you got no jurisdictions here. Why don't you get the hell out?" Antonio was fuming. The clues seemed to be there, but no cooperation. Soon he was back at the front, and the bartender asked, "Did you get any help?" Antonio shook his head. "Sorry," said the bartender. "Wish I can help. Thanks anyway." Antonio waved as he walked out of the establishment. While standing outside, Antonio reviewed the receipt again and noticed something peculiar printed on top. He went back to the bartender. "Can you tell me what this code means?" The bartender squinted his eyes and said, "Oh, that's the waitstaff's code. Let me check whom the code belongs to." Soon, a petite young woman with auburn hair wearing a pair of shorts and a sports bra popped out of the kitchen and fake punched the bartender. "What do you want?" she asked coyly. "This officer wants to talk to you," the bartender replied. The waitress started to look nervous when she saw Antonio. "Hello, miss. Do you remember this receipt?" he asked. She looked at it closely. "No, I don't think so." "Are you sure? Look at it again." She reviewed the items listed in the receipt and shook her head. Antonio began to describe the people that Molly told him. "Sorry, I just can't remember." She looked at the receipt again. "Oh, I wasn't around that day. I was sick, and another waitress took over." "Is she here?" "Not yet. She won't be till the evening shift." "When will that be?" 1700. Antonio wrote down the description and gave her his card. "Could you ask her if she remember anything and give me a call?" "Sure."